So we have these three positions, right? And we're interested in understanding the value of a black move at B or a white move at 1, a black move at A or a white move at 2, a black move at C or a white move at 3. And we're going to compare these three situations. And we're going to get drastically different answers. Okay?
Okay.
And let's see how we can figure out the value of these moves. So there's probably more things that we have to consider than you thought at first. Okay?
Sure.
So let's look first at the top. And we're going to look at black B. Okay?
Okay.
So what does that look like?
Some stones on the edge of the board.
Right. Well, right. So black plays B, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And white blocks. Black connects. And white connects. So far, so good?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what you'd expect it to be, right? So I've drawn in here some triangles and some squares.
Yeah.
Right? Before we look at the territory, I want you to look at the black moves and the white moves. How many moves did black spend here?
2.
And how many moves did white spend?
Also 2.
Right.
Yep.
So if each of the moves black spent is, you can think of it as being canceled out by a move white spent. Since white responded, black didn't actually lose a turn by playing here.
Oh, okay. I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll also look at the territory that both of these colors have. So black has 6 points,
Yeah.
right? And white has 7,
Okay.
right? Let's look at the alternative. The alternative, let's waste a move for black, right? It's white's turn.
Mm-hmm.
White plays here.
Mm-hmm. Black blocks.
Right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Black blocks.
White
And white connects. How many moves did white spend?
Oh, 2.
How many moves did black spend?
Oh, well, black spent 1. I'm sorry. I thought you said white. Yeah, black spent 1.
No, I said white spent 2 and black spent 1.
Oh,
No, that's
yeah.
right. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So what is the expense in moves for white actually?
The expense.
So black expended 0 the other time because they were both canceled out by white.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Like white had the answer.
You can say B is sort of canceled by 1, but A is not.
Oh,
So how
I
many
see.
moves did white actually spend?
Oh, I see. So it was like a white spent a move, I guess, because A
Right,
wasn't
it spent
responded
1
to.
move.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct. So what is the difference in moves between this scenario and this scenario?
I guess the difference is 1 because like before they both had 2 moves, but this time black didn't respond. Right.
So the difference is 1 white move. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the difference is 1 white move. Now, how many points are the difference? So it looks like here black has 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And white has 9.
Yes.
Do you remember how many it was before? Black had 6 and white had 7?
Oh, okay. The difference is 3 points then. Yeah.
The difference is 3 points. Now, this is important. We're interested we're not interested in the total number of points exactly. We're interested in the value of each move in terms of points. So we can think of this as how many points divided by how many moves you spent to get those points.
Okay.
That makes sense, right?
A little bit, yeah.
So what was the difference in moves?
1.
And what was the difference in points?
3.
Right. So we're doing 3 divided by 1, which is
3.
3.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Right, you got it.
Yeah.
So this is worth 3 points.
Right.
So there's a few things to keep in mind here. The first is we're not only interested in like how many points black can make or how many points black can reduce from white. We're interested in comparing that to the situation where white plays first.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? We're comparing these two positions. That's how we evaluate what the situation, how many points something's worth. Also, it's very important to think that we're actually looking at how many moves were spent, which is something that I think is very easy to forget, that this actually matters a lot. Right? And we'll get this in mind when we look at the left side, okay?
Yeah.
So let's say it's black's turn.
Yep.
All right? Black plays here, I'm assuming, right?
Sure. Yeah.
White blocks.
Uh huh.
And black plays here.
Oh.
How many moves did black spend?
2 moves.
And how many moves did white spend?
Uno.
Right. So what is the net value in moves for black?
Like a -1. You know, like a
Well, black spent one move, right?
Yes, a 1 move. Yeah. One move.
Black spent one move.
Yep.
And black has 4 points and white has 3. Right?
Simple enough.
Okay. So let's say white plays first. So black, we're going to waste a move here. And white's going to play first, then black, then white.
So white spent a
Now,
move now.
white has 4 moves.
4
I mean,
points.
4 points.
Yeah.
And black has 3. How many moves did white spend?
2.
And how many moves did black spend?
1. Oh.
Right. So the net expense is
2.
1 move for white, right?
Yeah. It's 2.
So this was 1 move for black, 1 move for white. What is the difference?
Oh, wait, it's 1 then. Oh, 1.
It's 2.
Oh.
The difference is 2. It's a black move plus a white move.
Oh, gotcha. Yep, 2. I see.
Right? So there's a 2 move difference between this and this.
Right.
Yes? And how many points difference?
It's 1.
2 points.
Well, I guess you have to add both, yeah.
This is
so taking away 1
we have to
and
make sure we
adding
look at
1.
both, right?
Yeah, true.
It's 1 point for white and 1 point for black is the difference.
Okay. I'm wrapping my head around this slowly. I'm starting to.
Right? Yeah. Okay. It takes a second, right?
Yeah.
So we have made a difference of 2 points and a difference of 2 moves. What's 2 divided by 2?
100. I'm just kidding. It's 1.
1.
Just 1. Yeah.
So this is something that you might find very interesting. This is 1 point, and this up here was 3. So this situation here at triangle is triple the value of this situation at square.
Whoa.
Triple the value.
Dang.
Okay. Now let's look at the situation on the right edge. This one's gonna surprise us a lot. Okay.
Oh,
So let's say black plays A, right? White blocks. Black connects. White connects.
Sure.
Okay. And we're gonna count points up to this far back. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? So let's say this far back for white, this far back for black. So, how many moves did black spend?
2.
That's not what I wanted.
Whoa, everything's gone.
What happened to everything else? It disappeared.
Oh,
Here we go.
there we go. Okay. That was weird.
So, yeah, something weird happened there with my. How many moves did black spend?
That was 2 moves, though, yeah.
And how many moves did white spend?
Dos.
So how many moves did this cost black?
It didn't cost anything because white responded to
Right.
every
So
move.
the 0. It was a cost of 0 moves. Right. For how many points?
Well, black has
Oh, we
9.
haven't worked at that yet. We haven't worked that out yet, right?
Yeah.
We
Not
need to
sure
look
yet.
at how many points if white plays first, right?
So would this be like more of like a reading exercise then? Because it's like, well, I'm trying to figure out like if he plays this.
So
move,
there's a little bit of a reading exercise. We're going to work out a formula that makes this a little bit easier.
Oh, okay.
There is some reading. There is some reading.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we'll get there. Give me a second. We're gonna get to a shorthand. All
Jumping
right.
ahead. Okay. My bad. Okay.
So if white goes first, black plays here, right? White plays here, black plays here, white plays here, black plays here. Right? So how many points does black have?
7.
7. Right?
Yeah.
And white has 9.
Right.
So we answered the question of the difference in points, right? It was 7 and 9 versus 7 and 9, so it's a 4-point difference.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm-hmm.
Right? How about the difference in moves? How many moves did white spend?
2.
And how many moves did black spend?
2. Mm-hmm.
So what is the difference in moves between this scenario and this one?
0. It's the same.
0.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's 4 points divided by 0.
Oh.
So what's the value in points of each move that was played here? Well, actually, you didn't actually spend any moves at all to play it. So these points are essentially completely free.
Huh.
They come at no cost. So the points per move of this situation on the right side, this is going to be really shocking to you, right? So this one up here was 3. This one here is 1. And this one is infinite.
Holy shit.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
Do we agree?
I guess so, if you put it that way.
Yeah? If something is free, right, then its cost to you is 0, then the value for the price is infinite. It doesn't even matter what the value is so long as it's bet more than 0.
My mind is blown.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said we were going to get 3 very different answers.
You were not lying.
I was not lying, right? Okay, so what are these situations, okay? So the upper right, there's no upper right, the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
The top is called sente for black, right? And it's reverse sente for white.
What does reverse sente mean?
Reverse sente means you're removing a sente move from your opponent. It is gote for you, sente for your opponent.
Oh. Okay.
Right?
So
Sente means it's sente for you.
Right, like the initiative. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
Okay.
So sente and reverse sente, you do not adjust anything. Right? There is no adjustment because there's an expense of 1 move.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Okay?
Sure.
Okay. So the left side, is gote. It is gote for both. Right?
Right, like neither side needs to respond if you try to reduce. Like at
Correct.
the end.
Neither side needs to respond. Therefore, it's gote for both. We call this gote, right?
Right.
And for gote, you divide this value by 2.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And the right side is called double sente. It's sente for both colors. And with double sente, regardless of how big it is, it's just free points.
Okay.
Right? So here's a really important question here. If it's just free points, if this situation here on the right side were to show up on move 10, why don't you immediately take it?
I mean, there's maybe something bigger somewhere else. But
Bigger than completely free? Bigger than... You said the value of this was infinite.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's free as long as the person responds.
Yes. Okay, that's the first of the 2 observations is white might not actually answer. Right? White might go this far and decide, you know what? You can actually just do this because I did something too important over here. Right? That's the first of the two reasons, is it might not be sente yet. Right?
Right.
There's another reason. The other reason is black might not actually want A. Why might black not want A? Well, for instance, what if black might want to attack this white group? If we play this, white's getting eyes. Let's mark them. Like, white's making eye shape here. So attacking that group is completely lost prospect. It's never going to happen.
Right, it's pretty difficult at that point.
Right, it's very difficult. Or, instead of reducing here, black might actually say, actually, this area here isn't white's points yet. Maybe I can invade. Right? You can turn down something that's free in order to achieve something that might not be free, but that's much, much bigger. So long as you actually, you actually have to turn down the free thing to get it.
Oh.
Right? If there happens to be like a 50-point gote move here, you probably still play this one first.
Huh.
Because you don't have to turn this down in order to get that 50-point gote move. Right? You do this, and then you go make that 50-point gote move. And so you made 54 points. Right?
Right.
Right? That's not a problem. But this one is, because if this is a 50-point gote move, you might actually lose the opportunity to make that 50-point gote move by accepting the free stuff.
Okay.
Right? There's a difference.
Sure.
So you might make this choice. The other choice does not make sense. So let's make this clear. This double sente situation is very, very critical. As soon as A, you are sure it's sente, and B, you're sure you want it, you can play it.
So it's more of like a timing thing then.
Yeah, there's a timing issue. There's always a lot of timing issues in Go, right? When do you do things? But you can play... This is a kind of endgame move that you can sometimes play in the early opening.
Oh.
Li Chang-ho was world champion for many years and got a reputation for doing this type of thing extremely early. Like, the move number was like below 30 and he was making this kind of endgame exchange.
That's crazy. I would get slapped at if I did that.
Right, but
it's too early.
It's important to understand why that makes sense.
I mean, if a world champion does it, it can't be that bad.
Well, no, but why does it make sense? As soon as there is no cost, right? It's free points, so long as you're sure that your opponent's going to respond, and you're sure that you want it.
Okay.
That's why he liked doing this, right? He would do this very early because he would know that he would know what the situation was going to be at the end of the game, or had some notion of it, and said, I am never going to want anything other than this Hane. I'm never going to want to invade here, right? And this Hane is sufficiently, the follow-up is sufficiently severe that white actually must defend. For instance, if this is threatening to kill the white group, then white definitely had better defend, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
As
long as you're committed to not attacking it,
it's...
Yeah. As long as you're not committed to attacking it, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. There's a few lessons here that are very important. The first is double sente is super, super, super important. In endgame situations, play double sente immediately.
So it's definitely always play double sente.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The second is pure gote is really bad. You divide whatever its value is by 2. It's worth half its value.
Why is that? Is there a reason for it?
Yeah, because you spend 2 moves. 1 black move and one white move gets spent. So you divide its value by 2.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Pure gote is half value. Double sente is infinite value. Now, about sente and reverse sente. Here's an interesting one. In theory, you should just play them from largest to smallest and move on with your life, right? Of all of these. However, the cost of getting it wrong if you play reverse sente versus if you play sente is different. If black plays this too soon, it's black's move. Right?
Right.
So black got these 2 points. Black got these 3 points. It's worth 3, right? Black got these 3 points, and it's still his turn. So nothing terrible happened. What he didn't have to play it now because it was too soon for black to take it from white to take that opportunity from him.
Okay. Yeah.
So black might have lost like a co-thread or something.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But if white plays this too soon, it was white's turn and now it's black's.
Now black has the sente.
Right. So if there's a move that's worth 5 points, white actually lost some points by doing this.
Wow.
Whereas black might have at worst lost like a co-thread. Right? Or lost the opportunity that white might mess up and play this before its time, right? Or something like that.
Right. Okay.
So the penalty for black to get this wrong is not as bad as the penalty for white to get this wrong. Right?
Yeah.
So the policy is, the general recommendation is, play the sente moves first. That way you don't, it's not too bad if you miscount. Right?
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, an important question though, what does sente mean and what does gote mean? It means, in a sense, what's the value of your follow-up, right? If your opponent doesn't respond, how big is your next move after? Right? Or in other words, how big is your threat?
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we've actually discovered something here that might be very, very surprising. Since the value of sente in Endgame is so high, the value of the follow-up to your moves is probably more important than the value of the move itself. Do you follow that this makes sense?
Yeah, I think I'm following. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of surprising, though. Right? The value of a follow-up is more important than the value of the move. Why does this not take me to the end of this? Okay. So let's do some...
Oh, got position, okay.
Okay. So let's do some exercises counting stuff. So we have 3 positions here, 4. Top right, bottom right. So we're going to call this A, B, C, and D, right?
Sure.
And I'm going to show you some surprising things, I think. Okay?
Okay. I'm just looking at all the board and there's
All right.
a lot going on.
We're going to show you some surprising stuff.
Yeah, let's figure it
We're
out.
going to count values of moves.
Okay.
So the first move that we're going to count the value of is what's the value of black living here?
Oh, a lot.
You'd think it's huge, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's actually count it, right? What do we have to do? We have to figure out first if it's sente or gote, right? Or
Right.
reverse sente or what it is. So for black to live here, does it have any threat against white?
Oh no, I mean it's gote for
It
sure.
threatens white in absolutely no way, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if black does nothing and white kills, does white threaten black?
Actually, I
No.
don't think so. No, I don't think black needs to respond.
No.
It's already too late.
Right.
Yeah.
So The value of A, whatever its value is, it has to be divided by 2. Right? Because it's completely gote.
Right. Huh. Yeah. True.
Yeah, it's completely gote.
Okay. I could see that.
Yeah. So how many points does black break by playing here?
However many points that is in there divided by 2.
Well, black makes 2 points, right?
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How many more points does white make by capturing?
Ooh.
Well, it's 2 points for each stone, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, plus 2, right?
So 12 points, yeah.
So it's 12 points versus black 2 points, so that's a difference of 14. Divide by 2 because it's gote. This is a 7-point move.
You'd think it's bigger, but I guess not.
Isn't that much smaller than you expect?
I was thinking it'd be at least in the, like 15 range or something like that. Yeah.
Well, so it's 14
I didn't count
divided
it.
by 2.
Yeah, but no, yeah,
Because
it's
it's
pretty
gote.
small. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Huh.
Let's compare that to this monkey jump.
The monkey jump.
Which do you think is bigger, just with your gut?
Ooh.
You'd probably expect, I think, that capturing the group is bigger than the monkey jump.
Yeah, that capture looks pretty big, I think.
It looks absolutely monstrous.
It's pretty big.
I'm going to tell you the answer right now. The monkey jump is bigger.
Whoa.
Let's actually do the count. Let's do the math.
Yeah. You're
right?
going to have to show me how that works.
All right. So white plays on top, right? Black falls back. White does this. Black does here. White Atari. Black here. White goes here, right?
Yeah, that seems how it'd probably go. Yeah.
All right. So let's mark the black stones
Okay.
with triangles and the white stones with squares. So black played first, white played last, right? We don't actually have to count the moves. I don't know why I was doing that. We don't have to do it.
So
That's not required. It was just sente for black, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's count points, right? So it looks like black has 3 points here,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And white has, let's go this far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So that's 8. And black made 3.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Now let's compare to black does nothing and white blocks here. That's just gote for white, right?
Yes.
White threatens nothing. If white was threatening something, then this would be absolutely ridiculously enormous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's check to see how far we counted, because I'm not sure. We counted up to there. Okay. So it looks like black has maybe 2 points. That second one is maybe iffy, but we'll call it 2 to make it look smaller than it probably is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? And we'll count see how many points white has. How far did we go with white? We went all the way
To
to
S17. Or
there.
T17. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to count all of these. Right?
Sure.
So black has 2, white has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, right?
Yeah.
13, 2, 4, 8. So the difference is... Wait, is that right?
5?
It's only 5?
That's what it seems like.
It can't be right. Huh. Okay, so it's a 6-point move. That right? That's insane. Okay, so I was wrong.
Oh. Okay.
This monkey jump apparently was worth 6 points. Monkey jump, there's a proverb that says monkey jumps are worth 10 points. It varies depending on exactly which monkey jump, how white has to respond, etc. Right? It's not always the same. But this monkey jump was worth 6 points.
I don't usually do the Hane at T15. I usually pull back with them at like S13.
like this, then
Yeah.
black goes here, and then you can't actually block because he cuts you.
Oh. I have not been punished then.
Right? Yeah, if you do this, then you can do this. So you can do the honey.
Oh. Interesting. Okay.
All right, so I mean, if we counted right, it looks like this monkey jump in particular was oddly worth 6 points, which is less than I expected. So apparently this one was worth 6 points, and the bottom kill was worth 7. So there's a 1 point difference.
Almost the same though. It's still surprising. I mean, a full like corner capture versus, just a monkey
Versus
jump.
this reduction.
Yeah, it's crazy how that's pretty much equal in points.
It's pretty much equal in value, right? And I actually expected it was the other way around. I'm a little surprised that this was as small as it was. I didn't actually do the count before I started the lesson. I figured we'd just do it on the fly. I'm kind of surprised. But anyway, the point is that this one was sente for black, and this one was pure gote.
Yes.
And that difference was enough to completely reverse what you thought the value of those two moves might be. It just completely changed it.
Interesting.
Right? Now let's take a look at what white's move here might be worth. So this is very interesting. Black plays here, right?
Right.
White plays here, and black has to defend, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's
For
so
sure,
bad. if
black
white-
has to defend.
Yeah.
And how many points does black get here? It looks like he gets 1, 2, well, maybe not that one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 points, let's call that?
Sure.
Right. And if black played first, actually I wanted there to be a white stone here, and a white stone here. Right. If black plays first, say white does nothing, black goes here, right? So this is actually probably a scenario that we already calculated, right? So this is probably worth 3 points, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't actually have to work it out. We'll know that it's 1 point different for white, 2 for black, so it was sente for white, so it's 3 points. Right?
Right.
How about this bottom? I want to point out something to you about this bottom shape. This part of it is identical to this part.
I did just notice that before you said it. Yeah.
They're identical.
Yeah.
However, it's very different, and I want you to think a little bit about why. Black plays here, white connects, and the question is, does black answer? It seems like black should answer, right?
I probably
Because
would.
if black does nothing, white cuts,
And
and
then,
black's territory, which was going to be 11, is now essentially 0, right?
yeah, because I mean, if black pulls back, then white goes K4, captures the three
Yeah,
stones.
black has no points left here, right? There's nothing.
Yeah, that's terrible. I would have to respond as black.
Wait a second. Is it? Black loses 11 points. But white gets this in gote, right? Black can do this, so none of those stones are captured. And very importantly, black has 2 eyes and is alive. Right?
Right.
So, we're going to say that black's territory was reduced from 11 points to 0. We're going to pretend that there's absolutely nothing left here, which is... there might be something, right?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Right?
That's huge. Yeah.
So this defense here, 11 to 0 in gote. Well, that's a 5.5 point move. That's smaller than the monkey jump.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, this one is completely different. Because if black plays the monkey jump, or something over here, white plays here and black dies.
Oh, the difference is the life on the corner.
Right. The difference is that black has 2 eyes in the corner.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
So the life and death of the group is actually what determines whether this move is worth playing at all.
Hmm.
And we could argue it depends on exactly where in the game we are. If there are moves like this monkey jump remaining, this Hane and Connect might be gote.
That's crazy to think about.
Black might refuse to defend here in order to play the monkey jump.
I would never in a million years not defend that. That's so crazy to think about.
Right?
Yeah. But it's starting to
Okay.
make a little bit of sense, but it's just wow.
Right. So
Yeah.
this is very surprising, right? And I mean, this kind of calculation is something that you usually it's very hard to do on the fly in the game.
Right.
Right? It's very hard. So we've learned the values of a couple moves, and I mean, the way I recommend you study this is like after your game, go in there and count some of your endgame moves. Right?
Yeah.
Figure out how many points they were worth. And then you sort of start to recognize, after you've done this a few times, you start to recognize some shapes. Oh, this one's worth that many points, this one's worth that many points, right? Like we did here. Like we already know that triangle is worth 3 points, right?
Yeah.
Because we've seen the shape before.
I would say so.
Interestingly, this one's not because it might not be sente. Right? And this one's much smaller than you expect probably too.
It's crazy.
Like this monkey jump might be the biggest move on the board. Well, no, I mean this one here is actually sente, right? But the monkey jump, you know, it might be as big as either of the two on the bottom.
Wow.
As defending at A or at living at triangle.
Wow.
So let's actually think about this a little bit and sort of go back to like the middle game opening and stuff like that, right? There's something really impressive that's going to happen here is a move is worth at the start of a game.
Oh, I think you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, do you know how much the current theory is that we believe a move is worth at the start of a game?
Oh, no. I don't.
Well, do you know what komi is?
Yeah, 6.5. Or
It's 6.5 points,
6.5,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
And if white plays first, white would get 6.5 points, right?
First move is 6.5.
Right. So first move is going to be twice that, right?
Oh,
Because if white got the first move, white would get the komi, black would get the komi.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So the first move is about 13 points.
Okay.
So moves around the beginning of the game are usually around 13 points in value.
Huh. Okay.
It should include sente, gote, all that stuff. They should be worth like a move in an empty corner is worth about 13 points.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But we just figured this out, right? I mean,
Yeah, we did.
I mean, it depends on the value of komi being right. If we're wrong about the value of komi, then you know that's not what it's worth. But that's what we think it's worth. That's sort of what the Go community has agreed it's worth, is about 13 points.
Fair.
And we've said that by establishing the value of komi. That's sort of the way we've measured it.
Right.
So most early game moves we should think of as worth about 13 points if they're valuable, right?
Right.
What do early game moves look like? So, why is the OGS interface giving me so much trouble? Here we go. We're gonna start the game. So, this move should be worth about 13 points. Does it make 13 points of territory?
I would not say so.
Hell no, it makes about 6.
Yeah.
Assuming that you actually get it, because it's not guaranteed, right?
Right.
This move's also worth about 13 points. Does that make 13 points of territory? It makes 9, assuming black doesn't invade, but actually invasion is common move, so black might make no points in the corner, right?
Yeah,
But
true.
13 points.
True.
This is weird. White goes here, black goes here. This should also be probably around 13-ish points.
Hmm.
However, how many points does it look like you're really surrounding? It's like 4, right?
Yeah, yeah. True. Yeah.
So how is that worth 13 points? Can you explain that to me?
Nope.
I can explain it.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Well, you're not just surrounding the territory on the side. You're making eyes for a group.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
And I mean, if there's anything that this last example I showed you should have made clear, is that the eyes of the group were worth like at least 11 points of territory in the area. Right?
Right, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much, I think, empirically demonstrated the eyes of that one group changed whether the move was sente or gote, and it was sente because it threatened to take 11 points, and we said, nah, that's not enough.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
Right? It's not enough because the group's alive. So defending the group, that's what's worth the value of this move. The territory is not the issue. It simply can't be. It doesn't make any sense for it to be.
Okay, I'm piecing this together slowly.
Yeah? You're
Yeah.
piecing this together slowly, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, I've been saying a lot, right? That, like, strength and weakness in the eyes of your groups, this is what we have to care about.
Right, yeah, that's what we've been focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this a lot. I mean, this is the part where I'm attaching math to it. Right? This is, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm attaching math to it. I'm making this a little bit more scientific rather than just pointing it out. But I mean, sente and gote, in terms of value of moves, in terms of number of points, are basically more valuable than anything else, right?
Okay.
Like they're almost what decides the value of something, because so moves that make territory, right? Let's say you're in a mid-game position in any game, and you're thinking of making a move that makes territory, and that's all it does.
Right. Okay.
The value of that territory has to be divided by 2. However much territory you make, the value of the move is half of that. If it's gote.
Huh.
Compare that with making territory from attacking something,
It's in sente.
which you can think of as making territory in sente. That you don't have to attach that penalty to.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And the attack also usually is more than one move long, right? You can usually keep going. It's the whole sequence.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah. So all of the moves involved in that attack, none of them take any penalty. And what's sort of the equivalent, if attacking is kind of like sente, what's the equivalent of reverse sente?
Ooh. It's
It takes
still in
away
gote
sente from your
though.
opponent.
It is in gote and urine though.
Right.
But it does take
It's
away their
taking
sente.
sente from your opponent.
Right, yeah.
So if you make territory by defending, that also takes no penalty.
Huh.
You also don't divide by 2.
Okay.
Which should show you why this, again, those 4 points are actually real, maybe real 4 points. As opposed to, say, these 4 points are much less valuable.
It's an interesting way to think about it.
Because these are reverse sente, and these are just gote. Right? This endgame concept actually works throughout the entire game.
Oh.
Right? These are essentially twice the value of these in terms of territory, right? If we forget about the fact that they're making eyes. The fact that this is reverse sente, that this is removing a powerful attack from black, automatically makes its value twice.
Ah, I see what you're saying now. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Because if you didn't, when black plays here, so if white does over here and black attacks, right? This is sente for black, so white has to defend the group or else sacrifice it. Which is also part of what makes sacrificing so appealing. We already saw some of that, right? We saw this group that died in this corner.
Yeah.
And the life and the actual capture of the group was somehow not actually all that valuable. And the reason is that actually killing the group is sente, is gote. Whereas attacking it without killing it and making it keep answering in order to defend itself, that's sente. But the actual act of killing is gote.
Right.
So there's always this extreme incentive to sacrifice early.
It's like,
because it means that the value of the capture, since the capture was gote, is suddenly much less for your opponent. It takes a divided by 2 penalty.
wow. Okay. Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this isn't actually all that different from what I've been saying all along. We've just actually talked about territory today because we haven't talked about territory really ever.
Yeah, usually it's about the strength and the weaknesses of the group.
Right. I've spent all my life talking about strength and weaknesses. I haven't talked about territory. But this connection of strength and weakness to territory is like, it should be very convincing.
Yeah, this is a new concept for me, so it's
yeah,
cool.
no,
I see.
It takes some time. So what we're gonna do, most of the time, actually counting territory of moves, like the value, is borderline impossible. But in the end game, you can sometimes do it. So what we're going to do, and I was thinking of doing it today, but this lesson has already gone pretty long.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll do one more on this, and we'll take a real game of yours.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that next
time.
time.
Spend some time counting endgame moves.
That'll be fun.
What is their actual value?
Yeah, that could be a good lesson. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
However, I mean, I think this has amazing value in itself on its own.
I'm going to try to think about all these concepts as I play my next game.
Yeah. Don't actually have to So there's no this particular lesson might not have the same immediate practical value as some of the others. But the concept behind it, the notion that sente can be more valuable than just about anything else, right? And how this applies to this general vision of the whole game. Where we can think of why attack and defense is so valuable is because of its intrinsic relationship to sente and gote, and how sente and gote relate to points.
So
how they relate to the actual point value of moves. In a way that's just so we said attack was ×2, remember?
Yeah.
So sente was I said that completely wrong. So attack took no penalty, defense takes no penalty, right?
Right.
Because sente and reverse sente take no penalty. Remember that double sente? What is that?
Infinite. Yeah.
It's basically 3 points, right?
Yeah, 3 points, yeah.
And what's that? That's basically moves that attack and defend at the same time.
Right.
They're both sente and reverse sente. There's double sente.
So
moves that attack and defend at the same time, they don't only take no penalty, they're just like, you should play them. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Think later. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I guess, how to apply what we just learned today into some of my games until next time we meet up. So
yeah, that's. I think we're might have to do that in another lesson because this one's already gone long.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna. This lesson's. I'm just thinking
Yeah. So I have a game of yours, and you can pick another one next time if you want. But I mean, you gave me a game.
Yeah.
Where we were gonna sit down and look at the value of actual moves that were made.
Just based on today's lesson, what do you think that like myself or someone else could like
Okay, so
apply
what I think you
moving
really need
forward?
to you really need to understand about
What's like the
just the
big?
basic formula, right? Is first double sente immediately.
Always play double sente first. Okay.
Always play double sente. If there is double sente, you play it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second, it's very important to understand whether a move is sente both for you and for your opponent. Because that's how you notice about double sente. It's also how you notice about reverse sente.
Right.
And we're always thinking about sente for ourselves. It's important to think about sente for your opponent because reverse sente is still twice as valuable as gote.
I see. Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
twice as valuable as gote, even if it's the same number of points.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
That's a pretty big one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
For sure. Yeah.
Sente, yeah. Play all your sentes before anything. Although what is sente depends on the value of the follow-up, right? And the value of the follow-up should be, for it to be sente, the value of the follow-up should be bigger than the value of your opponent's biggest move. That's what makes it sente, right?
Right. I see.
If you're threatening to do something bigger than your opponent can do, then it's sente.
Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. That's what makes it sente.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
It's if the value of the follow-up is bigger than the value of your opponent's move, then that's sente.
Yeah. So I guess like when I'm thinking about sente, it's like, okay, what's my next move? That's almost as important as the sente move itself. Is what's the follow up?
Yeah, how big is it?
Yeah.
Right? You don't actually have to know what it is. You just have to know that it's huge. Right?
Yeah, it's a big move. It's coming up.
Right?
Get ready
but
for
I mean, the notion of what big moves are, I mean, I hope we've changed that.
It's interesting, yeah. So just considering, okay,
Yeah, I mean,
this move is
I
a
mean,
kill.
mostly my goal today was to say a lot of things that were very, very surprising.
It's interesting how Endgame is so ingrained with the concepts of like sente and gote. Like those are it's Endgame is essentially just a game of that. Is what it's feeling like.
It's kind of, that's what it is. Yes, that's what I want. That's the feeling I want you to come out of this with.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
That sente and gote are almost more important than just about anything else.
right.
Like, they're so important that they might override the capture of a group like this.
It's like, yeah, you killed it, but I don't have to respond to the kill because, well, it just died, so now I get sente.
Yeah.
So
And sente might be so important that it overrides the value. It overrides capturing a group.
wow.
And it's not even like a non-existent group. Like, you know, it's there's some stones and some territory it was surrounding and everything.
Even in this concept here,
It's so important it overrode that.
yeah, like even in this concept here, like white plays that S1 move to kill the group, black responds with the monkey jump. It's really almost like an equal exchange at that point, like we talked about, like just 1 point difference. So it's mutual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And I mean, they say monkey jumps are worth 10 points, so apparently I found an extraordinarily small one.
Yeah. You're a wizard.
I just guessed. I just played a random monkey jump. It wasn't like I didn't design it or anything. I didn't count the points before I played it. It was kind of a little surprised that it came out so low.
Yeah. Cool.
I expected
okay.
the monkey jump to be bigger.
All right.
Because they always tell you that it's worth 10 points. Some of them tell you it's worth 8, and it depends on stuff. Like, they're not actually all made the same. That proverb is sort of not quite exactly right.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this little talk right at the end because it definitely just for some reason brought everything together a little bit for me. So
Yeah. I mean, I get this feeling that like, so Endgame is probably much more interesting than you first thought it was.
it's different. Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Like,
it to be like
there's
this.
definitely, I know that when I first was learning Go, and I always thought of Endgame as sort of this weird, like, accounting. And it was kind of this boring, like, okay, so we gotta figure out what this goes, and we play this, and then we play that. And, like, at most it was, like, you count values of stuff, and I showed you how to count values of stuff. And it's really surprising how kind of, after we learned to count the value, we realized that sente and gote might override a lot of that.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't usually have to do all that much accounting.
Yeah.
Like, we did the calculation, and we actually, the calculation is very valuable, especially for, like, reverse sente moves. Which one goes first?
Sure.
Because sente moves, so long as they're all sente, you can probably do them in any order, right?
Yeah. That's fair.
For reverse sente, you should play the biggest one first. Also, it is possible that gote moves are bigger than any reverse sente move. Like, that can happen. But the notion of how much bigger it has to be, and the answer is twice the size, right?
Right.
We have an actual numerical answer to that, right? There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we're gonna, like, next session, like, this is leaving you, like, I want to whet your appetite. We'll actually sit down with a game and we'll do the calculations, all right?
Right.
And there's so much. Endgame is such a rich concept. It's like it's something that recently has become one of my favorite things in Go, is to understand Endgame and to understand the concept of territory, because this is where most territory is made, right? Because usually in mid-game, you're just too worried about things not dying that...
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, territory is valuable if it comes in sente, because it threatens to kill something. Right? That's mostly what the mid-game's about. Right? If you do anything to make territory that's not supposed to be about life and death, then you're probably wasting your time. And we probably saw why today, right?
Right. It's like those common mid-game moves where you make like the 2 space base on the side when the group's already alive. Like you did that in Gote, and that group is
it's much smaller than you think it is, right?
Literally just played a 2-point move.
Yeah, you probably played like a 2-point move. It's almost nothing.
Crazy. Mind blown. Love it. Great lesson.
Yeah. All right. So, just
all right.
This is stuff to chew on. We will work on implementation next week.
Awesome. Dude,
all right.
So great. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
All right,
yeah,
buddy.
so I had a game of yours, but this just went too long, so...
That's okay. We'll get into it next time.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope you enjoyed this. This is... I mean, I've been very excited to do this with you. I've been excited to make a video of this.
Dude, this is so cool. I learned so much, like, so fast. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't... I'm going to go run on my board right now and play a game. I'm so excited.
All right. Take care.
See you, buddy. Bye.
Bye-bye.